a few more minutes talking about the recall portion or getting us to check our answers for the recall portion. After that, I will ask us to think about it and how you are going to learn the next few items. Okay? So you have a choice in a while that you can make. So on these few pages, let me do a quick run through for Daniel who was absent. So over here, the first part about the place value, the tip that was given was to mark up the decimal point. Otherwise, for place value, I saved it previously, let me open it. Otherwise, for place value, you will use the same tips. Dear computer, move a bit faster, please. Here. Yeah, okay. Here is it. Dear computer, move a bit faster, please. You are lagging. Okay, never mind. Can you see this? Lagging. Skylar, you may help you to stay calm and look. Okay. Yeah. I think it will appear. I think it happened in my P2 class also. Then the girl said, I don't have it. I really know. I looked twice already. Then after that, I went over there. It's actually just there. If not, never mind. It's okay. Skylar, you can look at the screen first. To catch out what's on the screen first. Okay, we'll look for it later. I'm not collecting anything today, so I'm not the. I'll keep quiet if you can't find your things. Okay, so yeah, so that day we were talking about the tip for writing place value for decimals is, you see, I use color coding. So decimal point and then it goes by threes as well. Okay, never mind. Sit down, please. Then for addition and subtraction, it was aligning the dots. And then for multiplication, the tip that you guys came up with was that the aligning the decimal point still applies, but it's only for the question, the top number, the one with the decimal as well as the answer. And then for division, is add the zeros. Yeah, I'm not saying anything. See, I'm just proving to you that when you try to calm yourself and use your calm zone to control yourself, rather than the anxiousness that you can't find your things, sometimes it will appear. Okay? All right, so at the decimal point. Okay, so that was the brief tips. Now back to here. Okay, so previously, I didn't manage to record anything, but also I will just put this here and freeze it for a little while. I remember it was Ethan who shared the answer for B here, and then is it Hongwei who shared B? Correct, right? Right, the answers. Align the decimal point was the tip, and then put in zeros if needed. Okay. Sometimes if you find it difficult to read decimals, you can use dollars and cents to help you, like 40 cents plus 76 cents. Okay, that helps it easier sometimes. Then for subtraction, the same idea. Okay, aligning the working, being very neat and tidy in the working. Okay, then multiplication and the same skills. And one additional thing was, if you forgot about how to align the decimal point, I draw an arrow to help me to remember bringing down the decimal point. Other than that, no, it's just like multiplying a whole number. You know that, okay? Okay. Then this part about the decimal, dividing to decimals. Okay, then there's this part here saying, correct to one decimal place. May I know what skill is this? Correcting to one decimal place. Yes. Rounding. Okay. That is correct. Rounding. So it's like saying about how much is it. Okay, so let's see the tip whether it applies to you. So number one, it says align the dots. And the second tip was put in zeros at the back. Zeros at the back if needed. Shoot. I forgive the very untidy handwriting. I feel like I'm writing like glitched software, but never mind. I'll try to mimic in my working here. So when it says round your answers to one decimal place, you can somehow expect that maybe you'll be going on to divide beyond what is provided. So like $14 here, and then you're supposed to round to decimal place. Then the likelihood is I will get $1 out of this division. It gives me a remainder of, sorry, it gives me a remainder of $5. And if I want to divide it further, I need to add in the cents. Okay? All right. Would you want to write down anything, or you are okay, comfortable with just looking on? Yeah, read done this. Okay, that's cool. So maybe you can sit here and teach them. Right. Okay, we will do that later. Okay. So I put in the decimal point and n is 0. I bring down the 0. So I can don't place the decimal point here to confuse me, because it might get a bit untidy. You have a lot of working to do. So from moment I put in the 0, it's like I'm thinking about switching the $1 with 100 cents. So I can add in more 0 if necessary. Then I continue to do my division. Then I realize that it keeps giving me a remainder. Like it's like never ending. And I can continue, and then it continues, and it kind of continues. Like I can continue forever. Which is not going to be here. So when do I stop? Yeah, I need to stop. And the clue to stop is this part that says to one decimal place. Meaning, when I am rounding, I will have to consider I have to round to this place. That means I stop here. However, to decide, do I round up or down? I have to look at the next place before. Next place after, sorry, I mean. So to decide whether I'm rounding up or down, I have to look at the next place. So actually, I have to stop at the next decimal place. So I'm supposed to round to 1. That means I will stop at the next decimal place, which is 2 decimal places, which is this 2. But you want to continue to more is fine. So the idea, the third tip was for rounding, 5 or more round up. Less than 5, round down. Okay, so here more than 5, so the decimal will be 1.6. Because there is this curly wurly sign, this curly wurly sign means approximately equal to. It's not equal to, but it's approximately equal to. It's like about, which means I round to one decimal place. I write here 1.6. Okay, this statement is very important. Without this statement, is not equal. without this statement bracket to 1 decimal place, then this will be equal, it will be marked as wrong. I must use the curly wording. Okay, so with one example, is it good enough? Can you do the rest of the code? You already did. So may I ask you at the next one that says correct to 2 decimal places, I should divide until the 3 decimal places. That's correct. Okay, so like here, 37.16. I would think that I probably need to add a few more zeros at the back. Just as $49, I will add a dot and then put a few more zeros at the back. So for this, I will have 8 and then 8 times 4, 32. Then align the decimal place. Bring down the 1. Then I round up, stop at the 3rd decimal place, which is here. Look at the 3rd decimal place to decide. So it will be 4.65. Hey, it's okay? Moving on. Okay, so the final part on recall is this two. Division, converting fractions to decimals and then decimal to fraction in simplest form. And there was this song that day we were talking about singing songs, and we were thinking if song is something that we like. So were you able to go back and hear the song? Oh, by the way, I posted something on Google Classroom. Yeah, you saw it? Okay, let me share the Google Classroom a bit. Here. Here. Yeah, new share. No, is it here? Yeah, okay, here. So on Google Classroom, I shared this one. I think it's quite detailed and funny when he talked about decimals. Have you clicked it and watched it, anybody? Can you spend some time in the weekend to check out this video on Google Classroom? Anybody click on this and try the game already? I think most of you yesterday were very into your learning trip, and then you go back and then you didn't do much. Can I urge you to go home and try this out? Okay? All right, then the song part. So we want to go on the rapping competition? Or the chorus singing? Chorus singing.
Visit numberrock.com for ad-free videos, lesson materials, and more.
If you split the number 1 into 10 parts, that's where the decimal place values start. The values less than 1, they're quite small, like 0.1, which is a decimal, y'all. This number as a fraction is 1 over 10, and 0.1 is its decimal equivalent. Fractions over 10, 101.
Ooh, hang. I thought the rhythm was quite good.
1,000 and on, or other decimal numbers, it's a phenomenon. Decimals are fractions, just with different names. They each have a value that's exactly the same. Whole numbers to the left, decimals to the right. They get smaller and smaller till they're barely inside. Like whole numbers can get big, decimals can get small. If you know place value, you can imagine them all.
is quite nice, right? Then
On a place value chart, you see a
the
pattern starts
that's
if you
why it's
split 1
getting a
to
bit old.
10 to 10 equal parts.
Glitchy. Okay, then that's another one. This one is, I will say this part, we went through it in fractions. I don't know whether you remember or not. This conversion of fraction to decimal, but it's a different way from your textbook workbook one. The question that you're supposed to do. Dear computer, I wish you can. Yeah.
I asked my friend, which way is optimal to convert a fraction to a decimal? I gotta know now. I can't wait till later. He said, divide the numerator by the denominator. So I asked, huh? Well, how can that be done? As far as I know, 2 doesn't go into 1. He said, listen, here's what you need to know. Just write a decimal point followed by a 0. And you know 2 goes into 10 5 times. Then the decimal point rises above the line.
The numerator becomes a dividend, and write a decimal point and a 0 in the tens. Divide and write the decimal point in the quotient. So 1/2 and 5/10 are equivalent.
Later on, I was hanging with my stuffed animal, showing him how to convert a fraction to a decimal. I divided the numerator by the denominator, as he sat there real quiet like a spectator. I bet he was thinking, 5 can't go into 2. But luckily for him, I knew just what to do. I said, listen, here's how it's got to go. Just write a decimal point, followed by a 0. Then 5 goes into 24 times, and the decimal point jumps up on the line.
The numerator becomes a dividend, and write a decimal point and a 0 in the tens. Divide and write the decimal point in the quotient. So 2/5 and 4/10 are equivalent. The numerator becomes a dividend, and write a decimal point and a 0 in the tens. Divide and write the decimal point in the quotient. So 1/2 and 5/10 are equivalent.
I had to get my homework done before the school dance. I had to convert a fraction, couldn't leave it to chance. I divided the numerator by the denominator, but to my surprise, there was a remainder. I texted my friend, I don't wanna be late. Can you tell me how to divide 1 by 8? She said,
Write 2 more zeros to the right of the dividend. The value will be unchanged. It's equivalent.
I divided the 2 numbers and got 0.125. We arrived just in time to see Number Rock live.
The numerator becomes a dividend, and write a decimal point and a 0 in the tens. Divide and write the decimal point in the quotient. So 2/5 and 4/10 are equivalent. The numerator becomes a dividend, and write a decimal point and a 0 in the tens. Divide and write the decimal point in the quotient. So 1/2 and 5/10 are equivalent.
That is a bit different from the one that is in your workbook, the idea that you can do it. Let me take a quick look at it now. So let's say, for example, this one here, 7 and 7 halves. Okay, so there are 2 ways to do it. If I were to do it here and I did what they say, divide the numerator becomes a dividend. Like that, right? At the decimal point over here, right? Then jump the decimal point up over here. Right, correct, right? And then I can put divide, and then I have $3.50. It's like saying I divide divide $7 by among 2 people, and I get $3.50 per person. Alright, so this is first method. Method 1. Method A, use division. Method 2, like our friend said, convert to an equivalent fraction with the denominator as a multiple of 10, 100, or 1,000. So I could times 5. See? Dear topic. What happened? Oh, glitch. So tricky. Okay. I can times the numerator and denominator, and I change the denominator in powers of 10. That means the denominator is either 10, 100, or 1,000. Then based on the denominator, it will decide after the decimal point how many spaces I will have. So in this case, there's 1 0. So the trick is 1 decimal point here. And I write like this. Okay, so who's on? This is method B. Converting to equivalent fraction. Changing the denominator into 10, 100, or 1,000. Okay, who's for method A? Okay. The numerator becomes a dividend. Who's for method B? Okay. Who's for both of them? I can do both. So easy. Anything, A or B. Okay. Okay, so the answer I can tell you is actually you need both A and B. Okay, why? Why do you need both A and B? Let's look at question D. For question D, is it easier to do method A or method B? Okay, so on question D, if I were to use, sorry. If question D, I was to use division, right? Here I have a mixed number. Okay, there's a tip here. Leave the whole number as it is. Dear computer, stop glitching on me. I barely touched you. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I feel. Yeah, sometimes it's like that. It's like a glitch. Okay, so if you look at this, the numerator becomes the dividend. So I'm writing the division like that. Is it easy to do? 13 divided by 50. Is it easy to do? No, not at all. So I will actually choose that, hey, this option of A, method A, is not going to work out. I think B is better. Option B, in converting the numerator and denominator into equivalent fraction, with the denominator being a multiple of 10, it is easier to complete. So I have 2 zeros at the denominator. That means there's 2 decimal places after the decimal point. So I will have 5.26. So the truth is, for this particular question, option B is better. Okay? So when will option A be better? Option B is better when it's almost impossible to divide. 13 divided by 50, very hard. So when do you think option A will be better? Huh? B. Right? When, like for example, when Fidaus said, for B, maybe I'll choose option A because the number is smaller, I can divide easily. So I can add the 0 at the back, 0, jump up the decimal point, add the 0. Oh, sorry. which is true. So in this case, I will have 1 whole 0.25. For 1 and 1/4, I think that no matter method A or B is going to be easy. Because I know that 4 times 25 is 100. So this is not difficult to convert. Leave the decimal as it is. So for this one, I will say method B is easier as well, because to do 8 divided by 25 is going to be very hard. But if I do multiply by 4, it's going to be easy. Okay, I will check out your other way when you submit this, okay? You don't cancel the whole number, you leave it as it is. Oh, okay, that's okay. I understand what you mean. That's right, and so that's okay also. So in this case, I choose method B because this is not possible to be done so easily. It's quite challenging. I don't know the 25 timetable. Yeah, so this one is very hard. So I choose method B instead. But there will be times where I choose method A. For example, if I were to convert the fraction 37 into a decimal, okay? Is it easy to use method A or method B? If it's 37. Yeah, it will be A because the denominator here is, yeah, it's not easy to change this to 10, 100 or 1000. It doesn't have something that you can multiply 7 by that it can get you to 10, 100 or 1000. So for this, it's easier to do 3 divided by 7. Then I can add the decimal point and then I can carry on from here. So in this case, there's a place for both methods A and B. Okay, then the last part here, okay, can I leave you to try this on your own? This one is pretty simple. The idea is that this is the decimal point. There are 2 spaces at the back here. The key. 2 spaces means at the denominator there is 2 0. Leave the whole number as it is. So 2 spaces means 100 and 25 100. Convert to the simplest form if it's 3 and 1/4. 7.2, so 1 decimal place, leave the 7 whole as it is. There's 1 decimal place, that means after the 1, there's 1, 0, and then simplify 7, 1, 6. Quite easy, right? All right. So, can I leave the rest for you to try? Yeah, some of you are done. I'll collect this on Monday, okay? Oh, no, then no school. That means I should give you more homework now. Yeah. Yeah, today is Friday. Okay, so that's it for now. I'm going to move on to the next idea. Okay? Okay? So you can, if you have anybody complete already? Okay. Okay. I'll complete and want to hand it later, I'll collect, okay? Anybody not complete yet? Okay, so I'll collect on Monday. Okay, now can you either keep this in your bag or come and submit if you want? And now I'll move on to the next item, okay? For the last 10 minutes. Okay, so the next item here. Yes. For what? This one? This. I mean, for which one? For the ALS. Yes. Yeah, because you did the ALS. Yes. Come back quickly because I'm going to ask a very important question. Or you will wait for me to ask first. You wait for me to ask first, okay? It's the ALS. It's the ALS. It's talking about ALS. Okay, now I have a very important question for you. Okay, you have to decide. This is your chance to decide because next Tuesday onwards, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, this is what our maths lesson will look like. Okay. Hey, hello. Sit down, please. I'm going to ask an important question. We have two components here. Okay, this is the point that you decide. Hello, pay attention now. I want you to start deciding. Okay? You choose the own way you want to learn. Okay? Alright. So next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you run like that. We will be covering multiplication and division of decimals by powers of 10, 100,000, and then multiples of 10, 100, and 1,000. Does it sound familiar? Yes? The idea multiply by 10, 100, and 1,000, multiply by multiples of 10, 100, and 1,000. Does it sound familiar? When do you hear this about? Like the first few chapter, right? The whole numbers. So actually, it is what it is. It's almost the same. So you can think that the patterns will be looking the same thing. So if you can do the whole numbers, this one will less challenging. Okay. Now, after multiplication and division of decimals, we are going to go into conversions of measurements. Do you now already? I know, very tempting. Just one question, two questions, finish it. But I'm going to ask a very question, okay? Okay, so after this, there will be conversions and then word problems, the very few problems. Okay? But next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we are primarily focused on operation and division of decimals. Now, you need to decide. You decide, the preferred way you like. So our classroom will look a bit different. Number one. Option number one. You must do this exploring of ALS first on your own. Then you can decide better. You don't tell me the answer right away now. If you haven't tried the ALS, okay, then the answer will not be meaningful. Okay, so you need to go home and explore. Next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday lesson will look like this. If you like the ALS or the XLS, that means when you come to class, there will be the laptops that will be booked already. We'll break the class into different groups. One group, you will do the computer. You will learn this portion of decimals entirely by yourself through ALS. Meaning, when you decide that I will learn by myself through ALS, that means the whole period I will not disturb you. You will do the ALS on your own. You will try to do the worksheet on your own. When the time is up, I will tell you, okay, time's up, you need a hand. And then I will not disturb you, just go and do your own learning. Okay? Then the goal is finish that worksheet. At the end of the lesson, I collect the worksheet. So the whole lesson you explore the ALS entirely. But that is if you feel that it's something for you. Okay, alternatively, there will be a group of us which will continue the lessons as the classroom. So I will guide you to how to do those questions. Then we do it together. Okay, so we'll go through the questions and then the workbook questions, the textbook questions, we'll complete it together. The same thing at the end of the class, then you submit the worksheet. You understand? Okay. In simple words. One, option A, I choose to learn by myself. So I do by myself. Okay? Now I don't disturb you, you 8 hours on the day. Option two, you don't really like the learn through the facing the computer. Then we do together. Okay? Okay, can I have a quick idea now? Who thinks you can manage by yourself to the ALS? Who thinks I will do together? Okay, so this weekend homework is very simple. To be very sure of what is your choice, you need to go home and click on the ALS and feel how is it like. Some of you might totally enjoy it. Okay, some of you might totally hate it. It's really I like broccoli or I don't like pineapple kind of thing. Okay, now some people like pineapple, I like pear, apple, pear, pineapple, everything. Depends on you. Some of you will find it, this is no, not me, very lazy. Okay, please. So on Tuesday when I see you, we can be very sure. By then I'll say, okay, those of you who want to learn by yourself, computer, take do. Okay? Those of you do together, we do together. Okay? Okay, last 5 minutes left. Let's have a competition. Okay, I will stop here first.